And we're back. That's right, this is the all Latof station. www is the player who is going to be playing Latof. It's not a website address after all. And it's Superman. But I do know that the red son of Latof might have something to say about this. So let's just see. Latof thinks he's going to humiliate Matt on stream to show me how cool he is. I think the Latof thinks he's going to humiliate Matt part. Okay, check mark. And it is on the stream, check mark. But it's not about being cool. It's more about winning always. And now. I also want to say that me and Latof go way not back. And it's not like he's my homie, and it's not like I have any homies, but yeah, Latof can be a real jackass as well. But he's the king. That's undeniable. Here we go. Pretty exciting. We just had Matt versus Latof, and now we have we just had Marsh versus Latof. Excellent players. Now we have Matt versus Latof. Another excellent player versus Latof. Oopsie daisy. Gotta accept. So, privileged position. It's like sighting Bigfoot. We're gonna do it twice in one night. Superman in the top left of Heck. It's a corners game, I would imagine, and it is. Latof is in the bottom right. He's playing Soviet. A little character's perspective. Latof is super duper, and Matt is really good too. And Matt is really good at flaming people. But when you get your ass kicked, it doesn't matter what you say. So one of the people who has the defense for Matt's big flame down is Latof. He's got the defense for anything, because this is a RA2 gaming community. Anyway, yeah. One miner each, because when you don't have a war factory, you don't get any extra miners. And I would highly doubt that they'd make another refinery before war factory. They didn't. Latof didn't. Matt strongly believes that blocking the war factory is lame. Even against his worst enemy, he wouldn't do it. I don't think Latof does it either. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of a annoying, bitchy thing to do. It's pretty legitimate, in my opinion. But doesn't mean it's not very annoying. Blocking the war factory here is actually a bit tricky. There's a place you can put the dog that blocks it, but I don't even know exactly where it is. Who told you that, mate? Six miners for Matt. You're kidding. You're kidding, man. Ed, if that's true, well, I've seen him throw a fit about it. So, here's Latof. He's going to be the first one to attack. Matt puts a war factory here. That's basically like, I guess I'll have a war factory then. Not exactly, though. Matt is down to the base layer very quickly. But he's got a decision. What does he want to do? When you decide to trade, there's a sort of point of no return. He wasn't past the point of no return. He was past the point of returning at minor home. But he actually did. Pretty nice hold by Matt. Very nice hold. Took a quick look at my radar, and what didn't I see? Any splits. Oopsie daisy. One banana? No. What's happening over here? Just taking a quick look. Because I wanted to make sure that I would miss it when Latof moved away and managed to get up the hill before Matt did anything. So, when Allied tanks chase Soviet tanks, the longer range of the Soviet tanks usually is really bad for the Allied player. PAF is gonna find $1 million to send you, Matt, if you win this series. I don't know where he's gonna find it though. Yeah, I'm gonna start guaranteeing money too, Matt, or PAF. You know what? If Matt wins this series, I'm gonna have $1 million in sponsorship deals. Or something. Well, this doesn't look good. Yeah, the last tank dies. It's just like the computer. Like I said, they finish off your ally, they just turn around, start heading across the map for you. Latof finishes a little splitty-doo, and he turns around, hunts Matt down. Wow. Well, first game to Latof. Just a lot of fighting in the mid. Matt did a really good job of getting down to the mid very quickly. He did a pretty good job, I thought, of at least drawing in the first tank fight, which was complicated because of the tanks had spread out. There were different splits that converged, and both players did a good job of fighting well and having their various splits all converge at the same time. Because he's Superman, and I don't know why. Perhaps you should ask Matt. I don't want to ask him. I want to get a "oh really" and a bunch of other shit my way, so I'm gonna stay clear of that. A little bit of walking on eggshells, but why not? We'd rather observe the games than observe Matt flaming everybody. Yin yang. That's a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question, kids, when you ask it for effect and the answer's already known. So, Johnny Johnam, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's totally wrong. That's Latof. He's in the right side. On a map where the right side gets a derrick and the left side gets an airport. It's like that. Cold War has asymmetrical techs. think I've heard some complaining like this airport is just not fair. So I long ago proposed to make it a derrick, and I made a model of it with a derrick. People were like, don't change it. Really don't change it. And didn't change it. I like having it. I think it's okay. Pair drop can be useful. It's fun. I think there's more of a problem with the shape here versus here. It's definitely easier to get them running around and splitting themselves up across their ore pit or gem pit. Left side has an easier time of running right side around, as I understand it. Or is it the other way around? Maybe it's left side that gets run around actually. Probably is left side. Nicely done by Matt, except that's a shame, eh? He's so pissed about that too. He said, brought him this way. Why would you go that way? And Latof saved the miner. He had a depot ready. But that miner took like 4 shots. So it was going to pop. Latof's going to return the favor now. He didn't get shots on the miner that's infected with the drone. But Matt doesn't want to just think about trying to get a depot up. He's got to worry that Latof is hanging around with a lot of rhinos. So that's going to piss him off huge. And now he's got a tank that's infected. Miner's dead. This is infected. Does he know it? No, he doesn't know it. There's this paradrop. What do you guys think? Do you think that was a question of Relico? Because I think that was a question of Matt's drone didn't work out, and his 2 tanks got trapped downstairs, and that they died kind of. I mean, it could have been that he had less money, but let's say the positions were reversed and Latof was on the left. Does he lose? I don't know. Kind of don't think so. That's not to say that if Latof doesn't lose, then it's fair. That's not... Who gives a shit about that? But don't think the jury's in on if it's totally unfair. We already watched a game in this series, or was this Marsh and Latof who played on Snow Valley? So Latof is in the top left. That's where he was last time. Might be going for a little bit more orthodox build, or maybe not. As you saw, it totally didn't work out for him last time. His whack build just cost him all kinds of time, and eventually he lost badly. Or not a... yeah, he just won really nicely. So I think his refinery was here last time. If you put it here to begin with, you can build down. You can put your refinery here, or your war factory here. And especially on the unfixed valley of, or map of Snow Valley, then the glitch is not the same, because it works, especially this, it comes into play when you're going back and forth through here, of course, but if you have tanks, your war factories on the 2nd level, and they have to cross through here, then they usually get trapped, and you'll come back and all your tanks will be jammed up like right on the front of your war factory, because they get stalled as soon as they come out. They can't cross this bugged place. And so you would have liked to put your war factory down in the old days, more so than now. But if it's down, then you're closer to your opponent. this ore is a little bit shitty. It's kind of spread out. I always feel like I'm not getting the cache fast enough when I go for that. This is kind of an interesting build by Matt. Now, if it were a Soviet player, this would have been botched if his intention was to put his second refinery down here. But for Allied, it just puts the war factory a little further forward. Sensible AFC you can stretch down with. Check it out. That's right. Lookout, Desolator, or GI. It's very annoying to get a little GI fire on your split going back and forth as well. Kind of feels like, I don't know how much damage it's doing, but makes you a little bit more impatient to get them out of there. When you're impatient, you can make more mistakes. Matt didn't want to wait around for Latof to split him up the way he did Marsh. Matt wanted to press him, say, make your move, because I'm not waiting for it. Then he gets this here. That might fall, still not being repaired. I'm sorry if you didn't hear that I said this pillbox may fall. This was a pretty good job though. Look at this. How are you going to get through there? It's going to be tricky. But I think now might be a bit of a problem. Latof says, no. 2 grizzlies versus 4 rhinos. And now I'm going to deal with your defense over here. So this seems pretty standard. You come through here, you get some shit, you run down here. And in the meantime, you press from here. And he has gotten results. Matt's miners are all on the dry ore patch. He's still facing pressure. He's still trying to regroup. He has to keep teleporting his miners that haven't collected onto the refinery, onto another refinery. And he's still having to deal with these splits. They haven't died. This is some pretty intense pressure. 1 miner, at least, still over here. The refinery is gone now. The other refinery is gone now. So they're not going to be remotely transported anywhere now. And this battle lab may be slowly producing Mirage tanks. Well, that pair drop's not going to do anything. Matt has finally eliminated one of the 2 splits. There's probably another one about to show up, but he can concentrate on one of them now. Might be a bit late to concentrate on this, but why not? Yep. Elite tank. That's so annoying now. And it's one at a time. Every tank that Latof builds is just an extra tank that he has right now. I've never seen the not real Latof. I don't think he doesn't play as optimal. Good game. How many is that? I don't know how many it is. Is it 3? Locano's game. Colgate's game. That's going to be Mayday. It was showing Mayday. I didn't look. I knew it was Mayday. Superman's game. It's not going to be Mayday. Nope. You see a pattern here? I see a pattern. It's top versus bottom dry heat in Snow Valley top left, and maybe Morningtide or Poltergeist. Nothing wrong with those maps. There's other maps. So top position for Matt. Pardon me. And bottom position for Latof. As most of you know, you can stretch left if you're top and right if you're bottom, and aim to get your refinery down off the cliff into the gem patch. Previously there was a glitch here, and tanks that tried to get from beneath up could not, because this was a glitched ramp, but it's no longer glitched. So if you don't get your refinery off, you don't have to find all your miners just chilling doing nothing and you're broke. They will come up the hill. But since it's so easy to get the refinery off of there, looks like Latof may have been a little concerned about blocking. So maybe I don't need to check the stats. Maybe it's just that's the way it is. Change the microphone position a little bit there. Wonder if you guys can hear it. Pretty sensitive microphone. Which is a good thing. I guess. Well, here comes Latof's first charge. Has Matt taken the initiative to Latof in any of the games? Has Matt attacked first in any of the games? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of good players... Did you see that? It looked like he moved it away and pressed stop. This thing was doing some kind of slide away slow. It was kind of interesting. He dodged it. When you invest 1,200 into a Harrier and it doesn't get hits, and you took the time to micro shooting a tank, that's pretty annoying. You can't be a player that tilts easily. In Red Alert, I tilt easily. That really doesn't serve me well. Because lots of shit's gonna happen, and you're gonna have to work for it anyway. Battle Lab up. It's going for the old tech strategy here. It's a good strategy. It's the best game you can name. So it's going to be Mirage tanks probably from here on out, for a little while at least. Zia has a pretty good strategy here. In my opinion, I've seen it work. He gets a lot of war factories, and he does lots and lots and lots of splits. It's pretty good. Matt is not choosing for that. He's gonna camp. Superman's a big camper. Turns out. He's a happy camper. But he's pretty good at appearing to be totally passive, and then at some point, just like a critical moment, he'll turn it on and attack. And a lot of players get owned in that moment. Look at that. Didn't get a kill and lost the plane. That's 1200 for no damage. Gotta build the plane again because you still have to kill these damn desolators. For example, when they kill your paradrop. Now it's dead. Matt's almost relieved that it's dead, but here comes another one. Short distance, so planes don't have to fly very far. That means they can get hits and go and sit down and recharge and come back for a shot pretty quickly. It also means desolators can just walk out of the barracks and into the battle pretty quickly. This is so annoying. One tank decides to take a journey through the Valley of Death. Happens for both sides. But I find defending here can be kind of annoying, especially if this is tight. I think it's one of the things that causes them to decide it's shorter to try and go around through here. And look at this. If it wasn't bad enough that you're walking desolators out of your barracks from here, what if the barracks was walked itself? And then there was a flak cannon in your base. Coming soon to a mat near us. I'm pretty sure I think it's gonna happen. Let's see how Latof does with this. He doesn't have that many extra tanks. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh man. Nicely done. Some of the basic pointers for getting desolators to effectively melt mirages, you have to have your rhino tanks invested. If you don't have your rhino tanks on top of the mirage, then they can just move back. The reason that they can't move back when you're fighting them is because obviously when they move back, if you're in range, then you'll shoot them and they die really quickly. So you have to have the rhinos have to engage first, and then the desolators come up. And it's a sequence that has to go like this. The thing is, obviously, while the desolators walk up, you think they might die, but he has to worry that you might press them down. Latof took advantage of that right here. Nicely done. Well played. I missed that. Some guy messaged me. I didn't see it. Is that 5? Jungle of Vietnam. Think this is going to America? He sure is. So, Superman versus Latof. Latof is a stage name. I'm convinced. I'm not convinced that actually. It's his real name. And he's in the top left. This is kind of peculiar. There are these garrisons here, so would have thought you'd rather to have your barracks close enough to them. You get a equidistant head or start on taking your buildings. If you do this, you automatically scout every place you need for your refinery. So if you're the type of player that has a lot on their mind and they're trying to do a lot of things, and then it turns out they didn't scout the position that they wanted their refinery in. Well, you can put your barracks so that your dog pops out and it just scouts that automatically. That's one reason he might have done this. Or maybe he's just don't care. Either way, it's not such a big deal. It's funny you should mention that, Zia. He's saying you need to have patience if you want to win against Latof, which is definitely true. But he tends to make you feel impatient. Makes you feel like if you want a bit in a tank fight, you absolutely have to try and get value. And a lot of the times when you try to rush it while you're trying to pick up value for if you want a tank fight or just got a slight advantage and you try to press that, you can in fact screw up something yourself. That's the effect that Latof has on players. Makes them impatient, makes them feel like they need to win now. I guess Matt just forgot about this Rocky. I see that happen a lot. Not with Matt alone either. A lot of allied players kind of float this one Rocky over and it does a little bit of harassing, and then, alright, fine, I'll build a flak track, and it doesn't take off and I kill it. And I'm just like, okay, that sucked for you. So I don't know. There's probably something that happens at that moment, like your refinery's ready and you've got something to do. You come back, your Rocky's dead. Could easily be the case. Anyway, let's take a look. Latof has some rhinos attacking and some rhinos splitting. Matt saved the one rhino, or miner. He's going to save his Air Force as well. Pretty good hold by Matt. Latof quickly snuck these tanks in. Well, if Matt were playing Soviets, then he would have lost a miner. But he saved the miner. Got a pillbox up that still lives, although it's a bit low health. He's got his Air Force. He doesn't know that either of these need to be repaired. Could be relevant later. Let's just take a look if this one dies unexpectedly quickly and Matt thinks it, because there's timing about when you approach it and stuff. So if he thinks this is full, he might time something wrong. And this Air Force too, it's tough. So he could find he's losing that. That was a spy, and that spy did not get low power, didn't get barracks, and didn't get into the war factory. I think a spy is 1,000. The IFV is 500 or 600, and he had to stop making tanks to make that IFV. He didn't bother trying to micro it around. I didn't see it, but caught at the last moment. We saw it didn't get in. So he had to do all that stuff for no returns at all. It was a loss. It was a loss of money. It was a loss of time. And now we have a loss of connection. Let's see if we can't restore it. Reconnected. This monkey is acting like fodder for this tank. It gets a little angry though. It's like, what are you doing? Fucking no. This is an episode of Babar going on down here. The humans are in. Go and tell Babar. Oh fuck. Well, I might stream you guys a different time, mate. You guys know what Babar is? Cartoon elephant. Yeah. She's like the king of the jungle in some cartoon. Humans are bad. This isn't good for Matt. It's bad. MCV, it's over here now. Tanks kind of fire off cliffs when they're looking this way further, I find. Doesn't feel like they fire as far when they're shooting that direction. Nice. When you walk around like this, this is something to take note of for sure. I don't do this enough. It's not that easy to do. You walk around, and I see Latof do this a lot. Like, this is what he does on jungle. So you have permanent air defense. You have quick desolator production. It allows you to divide the map and divide your opponent. Divide himself, his splits from each other. Matt has got the few grizzlies going this way, but it's easily seen by Latof. Matt's just hating it. Oh, sorry, Tanya. You're not on your way anymore. You're dead. Well, Latof is ulting himself now. Guess that's how easy it is. He just makes it look easy. Matt's a really good player. This is some crazy shit. This, I don't know how he buys all this crap. It's because he doesn't lose all his rhinos in a stupid, ill-conceived tank fight. So we can decide he's, you know, where a lot of us are trying to rebuild our tanks from a like drawn tank fight or maybe a tank fight that we lost. Latof is having his tanks. He probably got value for them. He pretty much doesn't usually get his ass kicked in any tank fight, so he has, I guess, extra money to do shit like this. He's got the build anywhere cheat. This is some cheat right here. Screenshot taken. That's not going to quit. He does have this. This means that Latof doesn't know what's happening over here. He doesn't know that Matt just sold a pillbox and this is weaker than it used to be. He does know I have miners everywhere and way more war factories than you. And 3 war factories tier 1. So the longer that they sit here and look at each other, the more that Matt has no chance at all. Matt has to attack. Who would you guess, who would you advise to attack if you didn't know anything else about this game? You're just looking at this and you say, somebody has to attack. Who would you think you want to attack? I don't think I'd advise Pink to attack. Latof said, we're going to watch Matt's NGs. What are we going to do? Where are these headed? He wants those tanks fixed in a jiffy. There's more to be done. I'd be pretty discouraged if I was an engineer here. It's a labor of love making those repairs. Man, it was a tad slow getting that barracks down. But it doesn't really matter at this point anyway. Remember that game with Mikos and Marsh, their first game in that series. Mikos got Marsh to a pretty compromised position. Marsh was doing long distance mining, only had one war factory. He did have promoted Grizzlies. But I said then that Marsh had to attack, and Marsh did. And Marsh got Mikos' war factory and base down and did a pretty nice attempt at coming back. There's quite a few good games that could be used, I think, for that. This is it. Wow. Wow. Here it is. Yes. Let's see some real power. Let's see an absolute demolition derby. Oh man. I don't want to waste him on regular. Matt says, if you build it, I'll pee my pants. Yeah, he's shitting himself right now. Except not, but like, he's dead. Wow. Look at them just chilling in this deso field. And this huge army runs through. These guys sure handle desolation well, eh? Look at that. Wicked. Awesome. Awesome. I don't want to miss it. Let's do a final tour of Latof's grand base. Oh. Peekaboo, who gives a fuck? Nice. Just cornering Matt in his own, the spawn for Matt. This is where Matt started. He's come to his hometown. Nice games. I think that's 5-0. Don't you know 5-0? So, well played. I think I'm gonna, unless they do a re-series, I'll just wait for it. But if they don't, then I am going to end this recording and archive it. Start a new recording afterward. Let's see what Latof has to say. Kind of hard to know. They're doing it. Oh boy. What do you guys think? Do you think Matt really cares about tournament points? Yes? I do too. I think Latof does too. Matt cared enough to change his name. What happened? Some shit happened. I got a weird noise. Maybe my stream turned off or something? Check out this sick thing. Mbox, crappy audio interface. Still looks kind of cool. 13 minutes on your battery. I'm running this on battery? Damn. Alright, well, let's have a pissing fight. And in the meantime, I'm going to hook up my computer to real power. Pretty nice, eh? This is what a real computer is. We got a new MacBook Pro. This is an actual portable laptop. So they are going to play. I feel like Matt is actually trying to do a bunch of shit talking so he doesn't have to play here. Whatever. Enjoy this. Matt's good at this. You might get a laugh. I'm going to try and hook up the power 1 sec. There we go. It's a pretty hot night in Toronto. Where are you guys from? Latof is build order? Is that what you mean? Lol. It's laughing my ass off. I think it's not I. But you're cool, Yak. I'm pretty sure he made war factories in this type of thing. Anyways, I'm sure the cat sure is build this time. Anyways, that's some tips from Yak, guys. There's a pretty good series I've already done with Yak. You can go and check it out. It's on my stream. I'm not going to tell you who wins that series, but he's cool. So, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I think Latof's coming back in a minute. Okay. It's funny that these guys it's always such a friendly experience on Red Alert 2. That's one of the things I like best about it. I always feel welcome, like I'm with friends. Yak, I'm not in the mood for it. You can thank me for doing this, but be honest with you, I've been watching Red Alert now for like 3 hours, and it's sort of like there's Red Alert and then there's just making tanks and shit after a while. We're all angry here. Don't worry about it, man. Getting flamed for observing wrong. Morning Tide coming up. That was predictable. It's a pretty good map though. It's all land, medium size. I think most of you probably know it, but if you don't, that's one of the new maps that we have here on XWIS. Matt's typing to Latof, so he's not changing the map. But now he has. Here's Morning Tide. Minimap tells the story pretty well. It's 3 heights in the middle here. These are cliff ascents. There's gems on the highest part of the map, which you'll see in a minute. Let's take a look. This is Latof, currently with an MCV. Lol. And oh, I missed it. Here's his build so far, Yak, okay? It's power plant. Power plant first, and then barracks. Anyway, so there's 3 cliff heights. This thing is, I guess it has 4 entrances, but it's not exactly a round shape. So I don't know, this is a tricky expanse here a little bit, but it doesn't seem to give any side like overwhelming advantage. I think this is generally considered to be a pretty crappy spot. It used to be worse. There used to be trees and stuff in the way. Yo guys, let's all be friends. Let's all smile on our brother and love each other right now. I think I got make use of some of the key commands on XWIS for the next game. Yak, I want to give you some tips on how to make friends. Don't be an ass at every turn, especially in situations where you're not an expert yourself. Just there's some tips for you on socialization. So, is it going to be 2 miners? Is it going to be 3 miners? Oh, that was Matt's. Nice. Nicely done. So, wow. Matt knew he was going to be facing drones, and he made drones himself. Yeah, it's all good, Yak, or whatever. I mean, it's just enjoy the fact that we get the privilege of watching these games. I'm glad to have had this opportunity. 4 miners for Latof. And Matt is going to be the first one to engage this game in a tank fight capacity. He's got 3 miners and no MCV. I think this is the first game of the series. He's out tanked, he's out minored, he doesn't have desolators, and he's facing sentry guns. So I think that means the games are likely over. Oh, this game is over. Latof says, he. That drone doesn't do anything. So Matt did a pretty nice split. You can tell it was pretty nice because Latof wasn't totally on top of it. Very nice. But it's all for nothing. Latof's out macroing him right now. If Matt wins this game, then Paf, you owe him $1 million. Uh-oh. But don't worry about it, Paf. Because you ain't gonna have to owe anything. Actually. Incroyable! Amazing. I'm sorry, Paf. I think I might have given you a pretty bad deal here. Might have to bust out that $1 million. Matt is like, he's hoping so much. Yeah, if I could do this. Well. No? Oh, no. Don't run away. Stay with it. Stay with it. I love what I'm seeing here. Yes. Oh, come on. Bulldoze that. Latof is fucking sweating here. He's fucking sweating his... This is some nice shit. Why can't Matt do this instead of making prism towers? Yes. Oh, baby. He says he's a king of the jungle. That might be a bit of a joke. But he is a fucking comeback king. Oh, yeah. Alright, I'll go half with you on this one, Paf. I think it's only fair. Alright. Alright, guys, I've got some work to do. I need to get $500,000 together real quick. Amazing. Amazing. Nice. Woo! That's one of the most unlikely wins I think I've ever seen. Don't want to congratulate him. I think he's already feeling pretty good. But that was really nice. Totally unexpected. You tell me, yeah. I think I observed it this time, right? I was all good there. Notice Latof said something about, why don't you have like the big sack to play me CMs, and then like now he's complaining he made a quick match or clan match. How the times have changed. Well, Matt earned himself some respect there. That was a great win. I mean, we're all really appreciative, Yak. And I know. I mean, I don't like to get into it and all, but this shit's awesome. I mean, he sold. What are you doing back there? His miners are doing a little distance mining, and you might be putting together a couple men. I don't know. Maybe Latof split him and lost some miners or something. But I wanted to stay where the action was. That was where Matt did this amazing win. Wow. I'm impressed with that. So, Matt is orange this game. He's on the left side, top of heck. And Latof is on the right. Latof has put his war factory over here, which is pretty much what you do every game. You want to stretch towards this mid. Both players are stretching toward it. Top left is expected to collect this ore, which means that they have miners which can be taken. They can also, those miners act as fodder. Pretty often there'll be some Tesla coils popping up. Sorry. Matt killed Latof's drone. And Matt's drone still is alive. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff about this, most likely. I think there's a drone here. So Matt was successful with his drone. Latof repaired it. There's a big standoff going on. Latof has 5 miners. Matt has 6. And Matt has 4 miners fully, or tanks fully holding that split. This is a bit unclear. 1, 2, 3, 4 rhinos versus, wow, 8 rhinos, one of them smoking. 5. And Latof is bringing the other 4 back. Matt sees it now. He is in time to bring his own back, but in the meantime he's lost a miner. Might call a stream up after this. Getting really sick of getting this crap from Yak. It's a really impressive charge by Matt again, but he used everything he had to do it. I'm gonna do that next game, mate. But if you could tell Yak to honestly, he's not helping anything. And if he wants to ask, he could try with honey. Gets a lot better results than vinegar. He says, "Fuck you, you noob! You fucking missed it again." Oh, nice. Thanks, mate. He needs to learn how to ask if he wants something. Please and thank you, and not fuck you, give it to me. Lol. Lol. Anyway, look at this by Matt again. Matt's the orange player. Matt's the guy doing all the damage. And who's this? This is the king. Hiding behind sentry guns. These are two boss tanks right here. But it's not over yet. Matt's probably pretty broke. Latof is building a refinery. He had to. He wants to get a war factory. I don't think that Tesla man's going to do anything. It's going to be almost impossible for Latof to win. You know what? I'm going to offer $1 million. Latof wins here.
Player defeated.
Excellent. Excellent by Matt. Sorry I was so busy not talking about the amazing attack, but really I hope you guys saw. He knew that he was in a tight spot. He had to attack, so he attacked. He brought his miners forward. He did a nice, cat and mouse with the miners. Is he coming? Is he not coming? Got Latof to commit with sentry guns and his own tanks. It was just some nice negotiation there with his miners and his tanks by Matt. Busted through Latof's defense. That's like the Great Wall of fucking Latof. And crashed on through. And then when he was through, he didn't run out of steam. He kept on getting critical hits. Matt's pleased about it. Who's the nerd though? I'm not sure. So is it going to be what FPS? No, I haven't. I have pretty good specs, so I probably could try it. But for now, I felt this was successful, so if it ain't broke type of thing. It's at 30 right now. You mean like it sort of goes blurry when I'm scrolling quickly? Yeah, I know what you mean. I have 12, I don't know, whatever the units are. 12 is my upload speed. So as I understand it, that's like pretty reasonable. I know that we have pretty decent internet here because it's a work connection, so we don't have just basic cable. It's a bit upgraded. Anywho, here's Matt. He's green. He's got his refinery up, and there's no blocking that's been threatened. Latof there's different ways you can build here. Sometimes you want to stretch left and you can actually get your refinery right there, which is better than here. All your miners are ever more getting further away from it, and they're walking around it to dump just to begin with. So if you get your refinery there, it's pretty good, but it's tricky. I don't know how to do it. You have to stretch your war factory away from your first gems, which I don't like to do. So here's a drone. This is Orange's drone. I forgot who's who, but I think this is Matt. Well, I will test it with some different settings for next broadcast. Everything about this setup should be all good because it's a pretty powerful computer. But I feel sometimes like it's not. I don't know what the problem is, but sometimes I feel it lags a little bit. I don't know if it's just my location in relation to most every other player. I'm kind of not that close to everybody, although North America, you'd expect to have pretty decent connections within North America. So, 6 miners, service depot, and there is a drone that's running around the map. There is a dog, and I think there is a drone in the bushes there or something. You can see it on the mini radar. There's 3 tanks of Matt's. I think Matt may have been drone. I can only say so far as I think, for reasons previously discussed. We've got 3 rhinos, Matt's, that are coming back. I don't know if he intended to bring them back or if he TT'd them. Look at this. It seems like one of them got droned. That was the drone that was running around. So 2 of the tanks died to that drone. That's for free. That's not for free. It cost the price of 1 drone. That's pretty good value for a drone, though. In the meantime, he's way in over his head, so he's going to run away. And Matt did it this time. Matt was the one who pulled the tank under fire away and allowed the rest of his group to fire on the oncoming tanks. Takes a little bit of micro. It's pretty good. Matt kept his service depot, which he put at the back of his base, so he's able to repair his tanks and not have to worry about driving them over that depot. And there's a glitch where Soviet tanks can die on their own depot. If tanks drive over the depot and receive a different command while they're moving over it, they'll just blow up. It's pretty ironic. Nice. Welcome, everybody. We are tuned in to Latof versus Matt, 2 of the great players on XWIS.net. It's our server where we play Red Alert, one of the finest games ever. And we have Latof tonight. It's a real special treat. He's a dominant player. He's a bit of a mystery, too. He rarely allows people to observe. He's got a split all the way over here. In an SBS match, it's pretty unlikely that Matt has this scouted. I mean, it's not totally unheard of. Matt easily could. Good players probably do, really. I don't want to include myself in that camp, but being that it could be unseen, it's going to be maybe identified a little late. And Latof has a complex formation of conscripts and desolators, which prevent you from just droning his desolators. He's grabbed a miner there with that split. Here's his base. I know Yak wants me to take a look at that. I'm sure you guys want to see it. So here's what Latof's base looks like right now. I don't think that's particularly sensational. Latof, I'm sure his build orders are really great, but in my opinion, the beauty of Latof's game is in his absolute precision in controlling his units. So what's happening now? I don't see Matt really doing anything. He's been under fire a lot. In fact, he's giving up. He's going for the all-in. So it's another win now, or don't ever win this game. Sorry for Matt. Matt has to get through a pretty difficult wall defense. And here's those 4 tanks of Latofs. The thing about these 4 tanks is Matt knows he's going to lose these buildings, but his alarm is going off all the time. His base is under attack. His base is under attack. It's chaotic to hear this stupid crap when you're trying to get a win. Matt has done most of those tanks in with his drones. He's got 1 to worry about. That's not what he needs to worry about. And again, Matt is doing quite a good job. Matt has really good control of his units too. There's no doubt about that. These miners are at the front. Another desolator. Another well-targeted thing. Wow, this is such a hard. This would be so hard to get through. Latof is doing a great job of continuing to make desolator units. He is building sentry guns, and he's draining Matt here. Matt has this fodder, and he's been able to get a good push here, but he's running out of time. The Latof can afford to keep building this shit. See? It's a good hold by Latof. That's what Path was talking about. You got to be patient.
Player defeated.
Latof showed a lot of patience. He didn't panic at all. That was a hard charge. I'd have been sweating. What do you think they're going to put up next for a map? Classic. Snow Valley. Top left versus bottom right. Martin actually did the repairs on this map. I'm all for changing the map. I'm all for putting something new. Wow, I think we've heard the end of that. Or not. I do agree that if you pick the map and it's their pick, then they can pick what they want. Appears that chat ban's over. I just don't want to hear you say fucking this, fucking that, Yak. Just try to bear with me, okay? That's a friendly way. I think Matt has learned yes and please and thank you as well. Sweet. Welcome to the new viewers. I don't know when you guys joined. Last I knew there was 11. I don't get a chance to check my stream and the chat shit that's going on. I hope you guys are chatting about what a great series this is and everything. You know, like if it was a TV show, text like fucking your opinion about whatever to this number. It's 50 cents per call. Something like that, whatever. And blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and we are watching a really great series. Latof versus Matt. Latof is one of the best in the world. I don't know what QQ server has. He's pretty much the best player that XWIS has, and I might say he's the best player in the world right now. So, really good. Both doing terrifically. So here's Latof's correctly placed war factory, and then he can build straight down. Yeah. I actually don't like this build. I don't think this is a great build. This is very sparse. The ore that's near the actual entrance to the refinery is extra weak. I think you do better to put your miners here to start. That's my opinion. This is what Latof does. And he's a great player, yeah. So I would definitely take note. Matt is attacking. Man, I wish I could stream Marco. I'm gonna get a t-shirt. If there's like... I'm cheering for Marco. That bullet missed. When you're building down, if you want to do Latof's build, you gotta remember, it's not about building straight down, you gotta build off to the right. Down and off to the right. Power plant goes down straight, and this should go, as you see here, or even you can go straight here. But make sure you're concentrating not just on going straight down, but also going to the right. So here's a 4-tank split by Latof. He's got 4 tanks in, but they're alone, and Matt's back. Can rain down on it from here, and here are the other tanks of Latof's catching up. Matt knows that they're around. That's why he didn't bother running around after these guys, because he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen here. Latof has a possibly a scout dog from before. Matt has successfully teched. So this is what Matt likes to do. For some reason he likes to do this more than his pretty awesome attacking work. It's funny how Red Alert shows you. Yeah. Matt's from Texas, by the way. You know, in Texas, including infants and like invalid elderly, the average number of guns per person is 4 guns per person. So there's people with lots of guns, actually. That's why Matt said, get out my house, because if he were staying in the house, he's going to get shot. And it was in self-defense, so it's all good. I think that's how the law works there. Nothing. I'm sure that quick pan was worth it for you guys with my FPS. But I want to stay right here. These are getting all kinds of hits. Matt has not expanded up here. So those are dealt with. Those are awfully annoying. Out comes the prison tower. I'm imagining this is going to be not too long before it goes back down. I don't blame Matt for trying to put that up, but it didn't seem likely that it was going to be a good idea. That's another indication, I don't know if you saw it, of Latof's excellent micro. It's a paradraw. He shoots buildings, like, because that's the threat. he doesn't let Matt recede away. He shoots the building right away. As soon as Matt backs off, he starts shooting the building. Matt's forced to come back at him. Then he shoots Matt. Here's another paradrop. I feel like that was probably a spy. That's not gonna go anywhere. Let's see. Let's see what's popping out of the war factory. Didn't get in here, we know that. That's not promoted. So, with my observational skills being what they are, it's a possibility that I missed a spy. Attempt by Matt, but it was unsuccessful. If there was in fact a spy attempt, it may have been a paradrop. But here we go. This is probably going to be end of Matt. Look how he advances the tanks. Look how... My instinct would have been to go back. That's wrong. But Latof actually doesn't win the tank fight. And his anti-aircraft wasn't right there, so he was a bit vulnerable to hits from the Rockies for a few minutes. But I think that's no problem. Let's take a look at Latof's build. Got a moment to do so. He's making desolators. He's sending his miners into the middle. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 war factories. Barracks at each critical opening, so he's going to pop desolators from each of those locations if need be. And obviously we know that Matt's been under heavy fire for most of the game. He's been doing that all the while. He's been making his base while he's been putting that insane pressure on Matt. Didn't see another paradrop going up here. Desolators walking out into position. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. It really is. Look how he walks them forward. He just knows this is exactly right. I mean, it seems like kind of simple, but it's not. Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. It is just like that. The desolators say you're not going to do anything about it. Matt has to sit there and watch his base die. He doesn't have any choice about it. Boom. Next wave. You seen that ad for McDonald's double Big Mac a number of years ago? They're like, first floor, second floor, third floor. That's what it's like. Latof's waves of tanks. 50 million. The second group of 50 million win. Good game. Well played both.
Player defeated.
Johnny Johnam. He's got the lead in the series. I know Matt's won at least 2 games. No fewer than 2. Well, you know, there's other maps and shit. He was definitely ripe for that one. I don't think I'm missing any splits right now. No, it doesn't look like anything's happening over here. Alright. Got twin monitors. Got Heartland on the other one, but nobody's playing. Okay, sorry. Thanks, mate. Trying to set the mic like better, get it better balanced for the sound. Let's read what it was. Let's read what he said. But what can I do? Childs need a... Damn. You know what? Shame on me. I actually missed conversation. It's not enough that I'm missing builds and splits, miners and everything. I don't know what he said. Some shit about blah blah. Child and you, nerd. Kind of like that. Pretty sure that's what he was going for there. So here comes the engineer. I bet you this is Latof. No. You guys could have made that bet with me, because I'm sure you noticed while the game was loading who was who. It's always good to check. Green is Matt. He's doing the stretch over, like a comb over. He's gonna comb over, and there's gonna be a bald patch here, because he's gonna sell that refinery. Anyway, each player has their refineries. Stupendous. I did a good one. Thanks, Yak. And I actually mean it. I'm trying to do good. Lols. I know I missed like a lot of things. And you know what? Other things happen. Like this arm is going up and down. How many times did I not see it going up and down? Who knows? You know, maybe it didn't go up and down because if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, well, ain't that a bitch? So, 2 miners. And Matt's drone, his reputation precedes it. Looks like Latof feels the same. This is shit though. Let's see if any of Latof's tanks die going across the depot. That's what they're called. It's a service depot. It's like Home Depot. It's a service depot for your home. It's a home game. Like poker. Yeah. I'm gonna shut up now. This miner might be dead. It is. What was the deal with that? Latof did exactly opposite of what you'd think he'd want to. He drove the tank off by itself and then the drone survived. But Matt's miner didn't survive and he didn't get really any kind of payback for it. But he adapted well. He made miners. This is one thing that Yak does pretty well, I guess. I noticed he made miners in response to losing some basically right away. Now, I don't know. When you lose miners, you don't have time to make miners a lot of the time. If you don't make miners, you probably lose. But if you've lost a lot of miners, it's going to be tough. Nice. Down with the tyrant president. Do you know, we've got a case of tyrant versus tyrant here. This is the battle of the tyrants. But I'm calling Matt the underdog, and I'm rooting for the underdog. Nice. Look at this. This is pretty creative. So I want to show Latof's base real quick, right? You guys can take a quick look. Thing is, like, if I hang on it, then we miss some really critical stuff, and I don't know if my FPS and scrolling and all. So that sentry gun went down for nothing, and this tank is just looks really loose, like you could just pick it off. I think you could put a sentry gun right here, but he didn't. Is there a split happening? Well, there has been, but the Derrick survived. Now Matt has sold his base. Latof has expanded pretty well. Latof is a Yuri's Revenge player, as far as I know. This is a Yuri's Revenge map. I actually think the Riddler 2 version of this map looks cooler. It's like a really nice sunny day here, and it looks like a pretty big dry heat. This looks like a big canyon. The Yuri's Revenge one is kind of darker. It's a little more dreary. I'm sure you guys give a shit about that. What's happening over here? Matt sold, and he's trying to put on the pressure. He's not doing a bad job. Latof is walking across the map with his buildings again. This gets really hard to deal with. Matt doesn't have that ability since he sold his MCV. He's probably feeling like he wants to... He doesn't want to continue to allow Latof to do this. Oh, that looked like it just... Gotta think that there's... Oh. God damn. Matt's like, fuck! Don't see any GG popping up now. You know, that game was made real quick. Heck freezes over T versus T. We're gonna hear the old classic, there's other maps, until it's my turn to pick one, and then I pick the same maps type of shit. Or, where's the star of the show? The show must go on. Huh. Nope. No banter this time. We're gonna get down to playing games. Well, I'm glad. Who's red? I didn't look. I was too busy daydreaming. I would imagine it's red, because I just checked and I think I thought it was red. I also smoke weed, guys. And you shouldn't do that. But if you do, then maybe you forget shit like me. Can't even remember. Matt's red, right? Yeah. I think he is. Anyways. Taking a little sightseeing tour. What do you know? There's a barracks, a power plant, an MCV, and a refinery. I thought there would have been like Universal Studios. No. That's dumb. This is winter anyways. What good would that be? So they're both gonna build probably toward each other and rush. This is an important place for the war factory to go, so it's more important for left side to get the war factory exactly here. It allows you to put a refinery down here. 2 drones each. This is Red's drone, i.e. Matt. And Latof doesn't just do a drone, he does a tank and a drone. Now, I think the drone's gonna die. That's my bet. Negative. Oh wait, unit lost on the depot. That like big metal hook went into the tank and grabbed that fucking spider. So, we don't want you destroying our tank, so bye-bye. I like the way that the drone is dead immediately as soon as it gets onto the depot. The drone just like disappears. So Matt repaired his tank. Latof killed the tank that got infected of his own. And Matt has 4 miners. Three tanks for Latof. Another kind of tricky spot for them. It's kind of a weird place to put them. Might get a little complacent over time, but I feel this is a pretty likely to have been scouted location. So I don't think that's somewhere that Matt would be. Think that's not likely to be black for Matt. He'd probably seeing that. Latof has stretched down with his refineries. He's now got 4 miners. I bet you Matt has 5, and he does. Where's that split gone? There it is. 6 miners for Matt. That's a lot of miners. 4 miners for Latof, 5 miners. And a refinery that's down into this ore patch, so they don't have to come up the hill. And then especially if they come up the hill and onto a refinery ramp, they can do stupid shit. So that was good, but Matt still leads with an additional miner. And the tank fighting has been more or less even. We know that Matt got an advantage. Here's this Tesla coil shit that I'm talking about. There's going to be a barracks for Latof. There's going to be desolators for Latof. I imagine the same for Matt. Where's that split gone to? Purple is so hard to see. You can get the radar customizer, by the way, on XWIS.net. We have new maps. We've got a thing called the radar customizer where you can change the contrast of your mini-map and see things more easily. I think that is... You can search that on the forum. It might be in the download section as well. Kind of useful. Sure, mate, I would, but somebody was cheating. Cheater! Post your sync files, guys. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Oh, look. Latof caused the error, I knew it. It's been a cheater this whole time. Fucking cheater. Well, anyways, that didn't happen because anyone was cheating, actually. It probably happened because there was V3 rockets and Tesla coils firing. I don't know if it's the case that like a Tesla coil will shoot a V3 rocket, maybe trigger a reconnection error, but often you see it, and this is one of the maps that it happens on a lot. Path asked for my opinion on which side is. I think the left side is better. Why do I think the left side is better? I just feel that you can expand down here. I don't know. If your miners, if you run out of ore, maybe right side is better in the beginning, and then later on left side is better. What do you guys think? Left side's better or right side's better, and why? I think I don't like to get left side. I think I remember feeling like, oh damn, left side. So maybe that's what I feel about it. I don't like playing top versus top very much because I don't like to be involved in base walking wars. I don't like sentry gun wars. I don't like having to make my war factory far away from my gems. So yeah, I think I could get behind that. Zia says that the right side is got better eco. I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean in the very immediate beginning of the game. He means sort of after the gems are gone, the gold is a little bit better for right side for a little while. But eventually you've got to get down here. And if you're busy with a whole bunch of tank dancing in there, then it's harder to bother trying to get 1, 2, 3 cells of ore moved to put your refinery there. Who's who? Who made a drone? Who can say? Hopefully you guys. So I sure can't. Now, green, who I've attempted to check twice but didn't notice either time. The identity of whom that drone was. He was going to drone that MCV. Let's see. Sorry. Alright, green is Matt. Matt is moving mid. This is considered lame on occasion, but you know, everything's lame when you're losing. The green player is Matt. He's moved mid. I don't think there were any drones to start this, but I can't say for sure. Anyways, Latof has made it down here. He was behind in miners for a while. Now he's got 7, it looks like. And there's some pressure being applied in Matt's mid establishment. Matt has this kind of cracked out formation. You don't want that. Just hanging at the foot of a hill, spread out. That's the worst. How many miners does Matt have? 4. That's fucked. Diam, huh? Well, 4 miners, 5 miners on gems is like all the money you could ever want. So I know Matt's economy is just fine. This is cool. Look at this. This is gonna say to Matt, you're not gonna come this way. And this choke is... Here are those 2 tanks. Nice. Incoming from Latof. But Matt, it looked like Latof actually gave Matt some credit there. He actually credited Matt's tank control a little bit, I think. Because he could have turned around, I think, and won the tank fight a little bit. Maybe he didn't want to trade down. Yeah, Matt, I would agree. I think Matt's weakness is trading, or splits. I think Matt's real weakness is that he wants to defend. He wants to build up and defend a lot for some reason. He has like really good skill for attacking. Blue is Latof. Latof is attacking. Up here. Save the war factory. Save that war factory. That was down to 1 tick. It could have gone either way. Here's a split of Matt. That's getting picked up. But this is... Matt's loving this. TM. Trademark. Do. 1 Tesla coil on the wall might fall. Couple of miners that are not on gems, to say the least. Okay. Let's have another recon error, actually. You know? Because recons are regames, and we want to see more games. If you're happy and you know it, run through Matt's base and kill everything. So Latof has definitely got this war factory. It's funny how Matt ended up here. He has so much fewer rhinos here. Aha. Yeah, it does happen. Here we go. Matt has run out of gems. He's got 5 rhinos to deal with. I don't think he sees them. Base walk extravaganza. And Latof with his expert desolator defense and push has driven back. Look at Matt. Matt has a bunch of rhinos. His main army is just like way out of the picture. That's because these damn desolators of Latos pushed him back. This is crazy base walking shit. This is so crazy shit. This insane, like, why are there 2 sentry guns here? You know? You'd be hard pressed to explain it if you didn't see it. It's a crazy top versus top game. There goes the MCV. So Matt does not have a refinery anywhere near money. So it's all in time. It's the right time to do it. He has a tank lead. We're gonna see the same shit as last game, where Latof makes a sentry gun after sentry gun, desolator after desolator, and tries to just drain Matt. He's doing a great job of it. Matt's getting less hits this time than even last time. Where is he gonna go? How is he even gonna get through here? Latof did lose a bunch of miners, but Matt has only 2 miners now. Latof still has a whole bunch. Matt, if he is making tanks and they're coming out of that war factory, he's burning them badly. If they come out of this war factory, they're going to burn a little bit, so pre-burning everything. Preheating. It's out of the oven at 300. The oven's set. It's going to be a roast Matt. A roast Matt duck dinner, you think? It's house special here. So another good game. That was a pretty crazy game. This build order is just crazy. And it's not a build order. Let's not call it that. It's not an order. It's like you just build in reaction to what's happening in the game. They both ended up building down, having confrontation on the second level. There was a bit of, it seemed like they might have the standard top versus top. Oh, not again. Tesla coil standoff, but in fact no, they moved down. There's other maps. Maybe I should start that up. Matt just couldn't help himself. I wish we would do some other maps too. Well, let's all take notes. Latof wants to teach us. I missed some comment. Pink is Johnny. Johnny is Latof. And Johnny with an H and 2 N's and a Y. It's not Latof. Some different guy. Johnny is pink. That's Latof. Alright. This is interesting. You don't need anything other than a power plant to stretch over this way. In fact, if you put your barracks over this way as well, you often plop your refinery down in a stupid place and make it really awkward to build there. So it's better not putting your barracks in this way. Stretch this way, you're going to have to head this way. Let's learn something. War factory up. Tick, 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 tick. I wonder how many ticks is that? I think that's 3 ticks on a miner. You think he's making a miner? Okay, he's not. But anyways, that war factory went up before Matt's. He's killed a bunch of dogs. As you know, dogs are worth 200 each.